going forward, all the games count. It was a little sad the other night, Wednesday night, the Redskins-Buccaneers game. That was a little pitiful. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it looked like nobody went to that game at all. They were just out there going through the motions a little bit. So too bad for them. It just looked bad. Washington did pull out the victory in that one. What was it? What was the final score in that game? Let's see. Where's the game score at? I'm not seeing it. Oh well, moving on. Neither one of those teams were going to win the divisions in my predictions. Anyway, and tomorrow, on tomorrow's show, we'll break down the last divisions that we have not covered yet, the AFC and NFC West. We'll do the preview and prediction for those tomorrow. Let's see. The Falcons wrapped up the preseason beating the Jags 17-15. The Giants took out the Patriots 17-9. The Eagles all over the Jets 14-6 in a low-scoring game. Titans, man, if you guys haven't watched the Titans play, if you haven't watched this 1-2 punch of Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray, you need to check it out. They will be playing smash-mouth football this year. Derrick Henry is running through arm tackles. He's running people over. He's taking piles. DeMarco Murray's hitting the hole. It's opening up Marcus Mariota. He's pitching to guys downfield. It's going to be interesting. If they can get somebody to play receiver, I don't know who that's going to be for this team. They cut or traded, in my opinion, their top two guys. Another guy left in free agency. So I don't know who they're really going to throw the ball to outside of Delaney Walker. But they are going to run the ball. You are going to see some great run game from the Tennessee Titans this year. And I went out on the limb, and I've picked them to win the South because of that. I think, it's potential to happen. They got a division that could go any number of ways. Houston's got a lot of solid guys on defense. They've got some weapons they put together on the offensive side of the ball. I don't believe in Brock Osweiler. I think he's a top-notch backup. I don't think he's even a second-tier starter. And Houston's got to stay healthy. Their defense is the best thing they got going, and it can't stay healthy. They're saying JJ might be able to come back and play in week 1. That could be too early. You might have wanted to keep him out a little bit longer. Clowney doesn't have a history of staying healthy. Cushing doesn't have a history of staying healthy. Joseph has been injured off and on the last few years. So the Titans could make a run. The Colts don't seem impressive at all. They did beat the Bengals in the final game 13-10. The Panthers have looked ugly all preseason, but pulled it out in the fourth game 18-6. I watched this game. I watched my Lions play the Bills the other night, and the Bills opened up in the wishbone. They had 3 running backs in the backfield, wishbone formation, and they ran the ball, I don't know, the first 5 plays or something. I hope they don't try and deploy that in the regular season. It's not going to work in the NFL. It's not the Wildcat. It's not the read option. It's not going to be the new fad that came back from another time. But in the battle of backups, in the battle of depth, I was glad to see that the Lions team came out and had some fire because the Bills looked flat. It made for the 31-10 game. Dwayne Washington, our rookie running back, busted off another long touchdown. He's had the top 2 plays for us in the preseason. His 96-yard kick return and now his 56-yard run for a touchdown. The Vikings, after losing Bridgewater, came back, beat the Rams in the last game 27-25. And I told you guys I had picked the Vikings to win that division. I no longer think they win the division. I now think they're competing for the 2nd or 3rd spot in the division, and I now think there's a good chance we only get one NFL playoff team out of the NFC North, excuse me. And that'll be the division winner. Let's see. The Texans beat up the Cowboys 28-17. The Chiefs beat the Packers 17-7. Ravens beat the Saints 23-14. The Bears beat the Browns 21-7 in the battle of the basement. The Broncos did not look good against the Cardinals. The Cardinals' depth on defense just made the Broncos' offensive line look bad. They didn't give Paxton Lynch any time to throw. He did not have a good night statistically. The pick six was not good. And, you know, they, like you guys know, they've chosen Trevor Siemian to be the starter. And they don't know what they're doing with Sanchez yet. If it was me, he'd already be gone. I wouldn't have brought him in the first place. 49ers in their final game of Colin Kaepernick getting booed of the preseason for standing up and having a point that's valid. Beat the Chargers 31-21. And the Seahawks get past the Raiders 23-21. However, the Raiders did make it very interesting there at the end with that long return that got it close. Oh, what is this coming in just now? Adrian Peterson talking about the regular season, saying he's pumped and ready to go. Okay, well, good for you, Adrian. I'm glad you're pumped. So, you know, the preseason is what it is. Again, Philadelphia, you know, you could say won the preseason, but so what? The season, Detroit went 0-16. We were 4-0 and ran through the preseason. And it had a lot of the fans thinking, oh, we're going to have a good year. But it's preseason. It's like a glorified scrimmage. It's situational football. It's practice. It's not real. It's as not real as the Pro Bowl. So you can't read too much into it. One thing we should be reading stuff into is this Rob Ninkovich situation. I haven't heard anything from the league offices or being reported by any of the major outlets that the NFL has commented on him being suspended, but I am reading that he is saying he's going to be suspended 4 games for using a banned substance. That will hurt New England's defense. They are definitely a defense of interchangeable moving parts. It's a system they have that works for them up there, but you're losing a key clog in that system. He's held down that defensive end position, that outside linebacker position, for a number of years now since the Broncos let him go, and he will be missed. They still have Jamie Collins. They still have some other pieces up there, sure, but he will be missed. After trading away a Chandler Jones, sure, they brought in a Carvius Mingo this year, just last week, but he's going to have to prove something to me. I think he came out of LSU too early. I think the Browns were a bad situation for him, and there was too much pressure on him to be like the savior, all-world outside linebacker, and he's just not that guy. Now, in New England, they're going to capitalize on whatever talent a player has. That's what they do. They find a guy who fits a specific role in their system, the way they do things, and they use his talent to the best of his ability, whatever that may be. So maybe Mingo goes on and has a nice little career now that he's in New England, or a decent season before they move on from him. We'll have to see. But Ninkovich being out potentially, that is going to be a problem for them. Another problem, Lawrence Taylor in the news again, being arrested for possible DUI. This is a guy, it's just a sad story, similar to Doc Gooden, with just not being able to completely conquer that substance abuse and lead the life that they want to lead or be the person that they want to be. And, you know, everybody changes. Maybe this is the final time, and, you know, it's the thing that gets him over and he can be good. Let's all hope for that. When we come back from the break, unfortunately, we will talk about Tebow again, and I will tell you who should be the National League's MVP.
Hey guys, the NFL season is almost here, and you know what that means? Fantasy football is right around the corner. Did you win your fantasy league last year? Would you like to win some extra money playing in a daily fantasy football this season? If so, thedirtcannon.com is here to help. You can get numbers and projections anywhere, But if you want to build a winner for a full season fantasy team, or just looking to win consistently in daily games, then do what I did and join the dirtcannon.com. They have it all in one place, fellas. Whether a bronze member or a silver, they will hook you up. I recommend the silver package. Starting today for the silver package, use my code RDST and you will get a customized 2016 NFL Draft Kit, Draft Day Intelligence, and access to their award-winning lineup analyzer with expert insight and analysis. So win your league, make some money, and take home the bragging rights with thedirtcannon.com. And use Real Deal Sports Talk's promo code RDST. And for the first month, with my code RDST, get $4.99 off the first month of your silver membership.
Definitely check them out. Our draft, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP, Fantasy Draft, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We will broadcast it live on the show, so be ready for that. Just know it's going down. Know you're all going to feel bad at the end of the season when I'm holding the championship. All right, real quick, there's two teams apparently interested in potentially signing Tebow to a contract. The Atlanta Braves, who, God help them, they have fallen off and become a pitiful organization when for so many years you just knew they were going to be in the playoffs and you just knew they were going to have a good team. Bobby Cox left, and they've just gotten worse and worse and worse. And the other is your hometown Colorado Rockies and the Monforts would love nothing more than to bring Mr. Tebow back to Denver, Colorado for all of you Tebow-ites out there. Now, would he play on the Rockies roster? No. He's going to be in Tulsa or New Mexico or one of these teams. Colorado Springs, whatever. He's not going to be ever on the main roster. So, whatever, Braves, Rockies, you're bad teams. Go get another bad player. Now, who should be the NL MVP? I know everybody's, Chris Bryant, right? No. The MVP should not be the best player on the best team. It's the most valuable player to the team out of the whole league. And in the National League right now, that is Nolan Arenado. You take him off of the Rockies, and they're not 4 games under 500. They're probably 40 games under 500. Compared to, yes, the Cubs, who are loaded and stacked with talent, they're 40 games over 500, and Chris Bryant is performing the best. I'm sick of every sport picking the best player on the best team. He's not necessarily the most valuable player in the league. He's not even necessarily the most valuable player on his team. You took Peyton Manning out of the lineup last year for the Broncos. He's won many MVPs. Nolan Arenado, Chris Bryant, both right now lead the league with 36 home runs. Arenado has 26 more RBIs than he does, 117 to 91. The Cubs are 40 games over 500. The Rockies are 4 games under. Arenado has a better fielding percentage, 977 to 948. Nolan Arenado has less errors, 9. Chris Bryant has 11. Nolan Arenado has participated in 132 games this season. Okay? Chris Bryant has only played in 90. Who's more valuable to their success? That's Arenado. He's played in 42 more games. And he has 82 putouts to Chris Bryant's 51 putouts. So he's playing a better third base. He's hitting the ball better. He has more RBIs, as many home runs. He's there more often. Nolan Arenado should be the National League MVP, and it's a shame that he is not going to get it this year. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning, spending your time with me, spending your time with Real Deal Sports Talk, spending your time with Chris Rupert from thedirtcannon.com. I want to thank thedirtcannon.com for being my official fantasy partner. Check out the Google store, get my app. Check us out on Facebook, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. On Twitter, Real Deal KVP. And until next time, everybody, you know how we do. Just be real.